Now, the freedom of the press must be defended relentlessly. That was the strong message from the head of the European Council, Charles Michel, a short time ago, speaking about the shooting of a well-known Dutch investigative journalist in the streets of central Amsterdam. Peter R de Vries has covered numerous high-profile crime cases over the past 20 years. He was shot minutes after leaving a TV studio where he had appeared on a chat show. Mr. de Vries is famed for his work on exposing mobsters and drug lords and has helped police solve a number of high-profile cases. 3 suspects have been arrested, including the possible gunman. The Dutch King and the Prime Minister have condemned the shooting of Mr. de Vries, who's in a critical condition in hospital. Well, in the last few hours, Charles Michel stood on the floor of the European Parliament and declared that the shooting was an attack on Europe's values of democracy and rule of law. Have a listen.
A crime has been committed against a journalist, and this crime is an attack on our fundamental values and our freedoms of the press. It is a crime that must be condemned, and I would like to express my solidarity with the family and relatives of the victim, and solidarity also with the Netherlands and with the Dutch government.
Charles Michel there. Well, earlier I spoke to Tom Gibson from the Committee to Protect Journalists about the implications this attack has on press freedom.
The Committee to Protect Journalists, we're welcoming the fact that the Dutch authorities are investigating this attempt on Peter R de Vries' life. And we need to establish what the motives of the attack are. But, you know, we're also thinking about the Dutch journalist community at the moment, because this really has sent shockwaves. Killings have a very chilling effect. So other journalists working on similar topics are also likely to be concerned. Of course, one objective of any attack against a journalist is to force that journalist into ultimate self-censorship, but this is also going to have press freedom implications. And we just simply cannot allow this, not in Europe, but of course not anywhere.
Indeed, and when we think about these sorts of targeted attacks or assassinations, you know, we think about places like Afghanistan or Syria in conflict zones, certainly not in the streets of the Netherlands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is another example of just how dangerous the profession of being a journalist is now, including here in Europe. This is an attempt on a journalist's life, which follows a spate of murders. Daphne Caruana Galizia in 2017 in Malta, Jan Kuciak in 2018 in Slovakia, and Giorgos Karakas in Greece in April of this year. Now, what did all of these journalists have in common? They worked on organised crime and corruption. And we know that because of the sensitivity of their work, it involves investigating dangerous individuals, large amounts of money, and people's economic and political interests. This makes journalists undertaking this work particularly at risk. So journalists aren't safe. And this is not just in the Netherlands. This is in a range of European countries, including Italy, Greece, and Bulgaria.
Just tell us a little bit more about Peter's work. He was an investigative journalist for 2 decades.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, he's been cited as a national hero, and really investigative journalists are around Europe are heroes, because, you know, they are, like Peter, investigating questions of organised crime and bringing those questions to the public, essentially. Essentially, you know, at the same time, what they're facing is a range of different legal threats, digital threats, physical threats. And really what we're now looking for is for political will from governments to address the underlying conditions that journalists such as Peter have to deal with because of their work.